Alright folks, we're doing another video reaction because that's kind of what I do here on the Kinnikuman channel. I guess I react to like whatever MGP2 stuff that I see pop up on my feed. One of my folks on Discord posted this, which I think like is really neat. I'm not familiar with like this uh, uh, person on YouTube, Patriarch Panda. Shout out to them. I'll leave a link to the original video down in a description as usual. Um, but it looks like they're definitely like an FGC centric YouTuber. I see like a lot, like their other videos are definitely more fighting games rather than anime stuff, and maybe like a very like a very grappler build person, or maybe like it's just like their one series about this, like just based on their description and like their other videos that I'm seeing on my recommendeds over here. In this video, I wanted to do a history deep dive on old fighting games. I began by looking towards Kinnikuman MGP2, an underrated fighting game that has gems for characters. This game is chock filled with grapplers, and I wanted to take a look at what made the game unique. I want to cover loot tiers like Batman, the top tiers like Shogun and Terry Man. Yeah, we'll come back to that. I also want to look at cool characters like Springman and Robin Mask. Yeah, so I guess with these ones, I'm always kind of, and I definitely hate to basically sound like I'm gatekeeping or something like that, but I definitely like to like fact check these oftentimes, kind of see other people who is not me exactly talk about these games, right? Kind of like where did they maybe like get their sources from, kind of well, of those. So I'm always curious to see that, and that's like a pretty substantial video too, 20 minutes and like just all about MGB2, which is like pretty impressive. So definitely kind of curious to see what they have to say about the game.
Oh yeah, they bring a new patch of Deadlock.
Also, I guess mention the video title is called a fighting game where every character is a grappler, which is a bit clickbaity, but I'm also guilty to use that a lot. I think like it's a not entirely accurate, but a pretty funny and like not wrong way to describe the game, right? Definitely always been a fan of calling the game like that. I might turn up the audio a little bit. Okay, let's see, this is like an opening skit, so I'm seeing a lot of Deadlock. I've touched this game. I've never touched this game. I think I've perceived this game once or twice because a buddy of mine played it. But
Sucks.
I don't know. I'm like being a small Victorian child for that game.
I mean, yeah, the new patch just dropped. It's been really exciting.
Panda, it's been a week.
No way. I haven't even realized. I'll tell you something, Potemkin. After playing Deadlock and getting put with only snipers, I want a game with only grapplers.
That's a fun hook.
Sucks. Oh, what's coming from this monitor? Do you see that?
I think you got what you wished for.
You might be right. A game with only grapplers. It's beautiful.
My loyal fans! Hey.
Actually, I think I've seen like this intro before. Actually, this intro rings a bell. I might have seen this person like on social media before, because this intro definitely looks familiar. That's a fun intro.
Today's video will be different as we'll be diving headfirst into a game that is mostly grapplers. The characters will be a wee bit samey, but there's some differences.
They're not really.
Interesting in the game. I plan on checking out multiple grapplers in this video in a rapid fire succession.
Sure.
What's up, fellas? Panda here, and I hope you guys are looking forward to today's video. And be sure to like and sub, because we are very close to that 5k mark, where we'll cover Zangief. If you guys want to support me, be sure to check out the membership system, as it's greatly appreciated. We're not going to break down what a grappler does, because you're going to get to see 8 of them. You're gonna know what a grappler does pretty quickly. That, and I've redone this. The first time my mic had interference, and the second time my mic was peaking. So that's awesome. But
I guess before we get to into this, right, because I think like it's easy to go. Yeah, MGP2 is a game with all grapplers, and I was thought like this a bit of a misnomer, right? It's one of those like, if everyone's a grappler, then nobody's a grappler. Because it really feels like a lot of characters in this game, yeah, they don't have high lows, they only have throws, but this is because how the game works, you know. I always like to think about throws in this game as almost kind of like overheads, with how like you kind of react to them and stuff. Like they're mostly slow, than actual like grabs necessarily. But I think like the argument that there are some characters in the game, like Jade is one that I think about a lot, or like Buffalo Man, who kind of plays more like a traditional grappler, you know. Kind of slow, kind of bad neutral, but then like when they get in it and they touch you, you explode. So I feel like there's still a bit of that for sure. but I feel like it's a bit hard to really call the whole game being grapplers, right? Like, I don't know what they're gonna talk about, but based on the description, it sounds like they're gonna talk about something like Springman and Akuma Shogun. I'm assuming way too much here, but just looking at the description, And I really won't describe Springman or Akuma Shogun as like grapplers necessarily. They have throws because the game everyone has throws, but they really don't really use them much at all, right? It's just like not really. It's just not really like a part of like their playstyle, especially like at a higher level. That it feels kind of disingenuous to call them all grapplers, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see.
For the game of today, go fight! Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix 2! There was a what? This is an interesting case.
Okay.
This was a 3D fighter.
I was like kind of scared there that like they were gonna like cover MGP1 because I have like actually no knowledge of that game. So if they were gonna spend like 5 minutes on MGP1 to like for context, I'll be like, oh, I'm actually just kind of lost because I've never touched that game, which is a bit of a shame, right? I feel like as someone who's kind of spent a better part of like my adult hobby life on this game, probably should like give MGP1 a look. But it's just like I don't know, I never had like the interest for it. But luckily, that was just like a little nice bit. So we're moving on.
A Japanese series called Kinnikuman during the 80s.
Yep.
Which started as a parody of Superman if he was a bum. It's a story of burning
More or less.
souls and friendship. If you like modern shonen, you have to thank this series. I'm not kidding. If you like any modern day grappler, you have to thank this series.
That's just a sick.
not kidding.
Oh, that was.
Alex trailer.
This video is that new, huh? That really is like the Alex trailer. Goddamn. But yeah, that's a pretty succinct way to describe it. Yeah, right. I think I was talking about that on stream earlier. Just a very much your favorite mangaka anime creator's favorite manga anime, right? So much influences from it.
Came out, he references two of the big moves.
Yeah.
Zangief stole the main characters.
I never thought of it that way, but that's
And if
probably,
you
but that's
like
not
the hit
wrong.
Game with the anime horses, you know, the Uma Musume, would you believe it? They reference it on the occasion.
I've not seen that too much of the Uma Musume anime, but I guess all those things did happen, huh?
Dragon Ball, as it's one of the Mac daddies of shonen anime. If you like shonen, this is where the formula came from. However, the series is very, very dated, where you have to look at it with a rose-tinted lens.
Yeah.
There's quite a few elephants.
For
within
what
this
it's
movie.
worth, I feel like the
There's
modern,
like thousands.
from the 21st century,
If you guys
they've
are
toned it down
interested,
quite a lot.
There will be a video
So,
in the description in the comments
yeah.
talking about its history and why it didn't really get dubs. And I think I might do a video in the future talking about the inspirations of Kinnikuman on fighting games.
That's a fun one, especially for like grapplers, right?
Super important compared to other games, as this game is not that well known, and it was like a.
Sorry, run that back. I think I did miss like what they said.
Not that with mechanics in the future. Talking about the inspirations of Kinnikuman on fighting games. Getting into the game's mechanics is super important.
Right?
compared
Yeah.
to other
Gotcha.
games, as this game is not that well known.
Yeah, you probably maybe don't have like
3D fighter,
talk about the mechanics
lot
of
weird
Street Fighter
stuff.
2,
But
you know.
growing up, you're
But
presented with
you
many
probably
characters
you
from
probably
the
would need
then
to
you
for this
get
game.
Pick your guy, then you pick the KKD system to choose from, and it's all in Japanese. Help. No need to worry,
Yeah.
we have L Wiki for the help. You can choose from
Yay!
3 different meters that have
L Wiki.
different buffs when you hit a low health point or when you activate the install. Blue is a
Yeah.
damage-based one. Green is a defensive system that reduces
Good enough.
incoming damage and can lower hit stun. And red is a meter-based one, giving you more meter when your health is low.
Yeah.
Activating Burning Inner Strength will make these meter systems buff up. Green lessens the damage and hits them by a ton.
Yeah.
Red gives infinite meter and gives special cancels.
Hmm.
And blue gives the combo system from Street Fighter Alpha, where it's very custom. And you
I,
can do whatever you want. The damage.
I feel like me calling Blue Kikiri as like custom combos for like 4 years from like 2019 to like 2023. I feel like I've done a lot of damage for how it actually works. That nowadays I have mixed feelings about calling it custom combos. It does kind of work like custom combos, but I'm probably just being like pedantic. It's basically custom combos. Like it's not totally wrong, so I should probably let it go. But like I don't know, it's still I have mixed feelings about that nowadays.
Skill, but you can rack it up easily. After picking your meter and your dude, you're in the game, and when you're in, let's talk about Kinnikuman, the main guy. He's like a show, but he's also a grappler. He has it all. If you're good with Kinnikuman, you're good at the game.
Yeah,
Your buttons
yeah.
are simple, A being your strike, and this can be done with directions and command inputs to do strings or strike specials.
Yep.
T is throw. the main gimmick of the game, with directions and ropes and commands like strike, you can do all sorts of throws to capitalize for damage. The best
yeah.
throws give OTGs, more on that later. And mountain. And then you have S, kind of using your
The mountain
special
room.
here. Any throw done with the S will have iframes, and a lot of the attacks that have like a ton of
Yeah,
ability to
they
it.
do.
Movement
They do.
is like most 3D fighters, but lacking the cancels like Tech
Yeah.
and Virtue Fighter. So if you backdash, there's no KBD. Sidestepping can be evasive, but you can also be caught by throw. So how do you defend? You can block by pressing G. You can press forward and G, perform parries to make attacks less plus or even punishable. Back and G will take any throw.
Also the whole, you know, lose the cancel window, but that's a bit aesthetic, I guess.
Putting them in a punish state where you can hit them. Throws are reactable, so being awake at the wheel helps with throw spammers.
Yeah.
It's 24 frames, so it's very techable if you're on the ball. Lastly, the ropes. They kind of act like the wall.
They're not done yet, but like so far, I think I really like the description so far. It's been very like accurate, you know. Like I don't know. I think maybe my standards are just like that low, and I don't even know why. Because I think everyone who's made videos about this, about the MGP has been like so good at doing the research. So I'm really big props, big thankful to everyone. But always like, really big props to everyone to like you know do the research before like they make these videos. I think like that's like a really cool thing about that. You know that the guys, the resources, the stuff that I put out there is like being seen. That feels good in a lot of ways. I just, even besides that, I just think like they're explaining it in a very good way. You know, I've had the luxury to like basically explain this over and over again to people at so many majors, so many like monthlies, locals, and all that stuff. So I think I almost just have it to a script at this point. And they're doing a really good job, like really close to like my script. And I don't know if I've like shared that quote unquote script to someone. So really good, really nice.
Except if you block a very heavy stunning attack
Yeah.
near the ropes, you'll actually be swung off them for a free pickup. There's
Yep.
actually some throws that can give you the rope rebound, such as the Irish whip, which is a
Yeah.
classic the wrestlers love to use. The rope leads
There
to
we go.
great rewards, so using throws that side swap or learning combos that side swap is super important in this game, so you can make good utility of the ropes.
Yep.
That's everything you need to know. So here's the question: who the do I cover? I've chosen 8 characters who seem to be
Okay.
interesting or top tier or worth talking.
Yeah, okay. So I guess like not like they're not really necessarily like phrasing it like they're all grapplers, right? They're all just the game, everyone's quote unquote grapplers. But I guess like they never really outright say, oh yeah, this means like they're all grapplers. Because again, I do kind of want to push back on that. But yeah, highlighting like 8 characters, I think like that's probably pretty cool. Definitely a pretty nice approach to this game, I guess.
Was bottom 1, and 5 of them were top tiers, and 2 of them are characters that I want to talk about,
Sure.
either because they're interesting or because I think they're pretty cool. So let's start with the Zona. He's bottom 1.
Yeah.
Planet Man was designed to be a zoner in a game filled with grapplers.
Yeah.
I just get this image in my head every time. Look at his list of cannons.
Shout out myself.
This is beautiful.
I used to pray for days like these.
Honestly, I don't blame him.
I never really phrase it that way, right? But I think it's always funny to basically say, oh yeah, the zoner is the worst character in a game full of grapplers. Like there's definitely like some fun irony there, which again I don't think is totally accurate considering how Planet Man is barely barely a zoner. Like his zoning is so ineffective that you don't really zone with him, right? So it's not like he's bad because his zoning doesn't. Well, he's bad because his zoning doesn't work. But and then everything else. But I feel like there's some context to that. But I think it's funny when you just say at face value, the zoner is bottom 1 in a game full of grapplers, right? So there's kind of like an appeal there. I think I should start saying that more.
Attacks are very slow. Like his jab coming out in 17
Yeah.
frames in a game where your fastest attack is a 10 framer.
Well, 12, 11, 12.
An electric in this time, and that is a pretty safe launcher that's plus up.
Yeah.
Whereas this jab came out in 17 frames and was minus 11. Punch
Yeah.
in the game standard. He's super meter hungry, as he can only zone with meter. Also, his projectiles are awful. They're either too slow or weak to sidestep, so he can't zone. The last weakness, these projectiles can only be done with meter. This is like an EA designed Street Fighter.
That's the way to put it. Imagine,
I
right?
want to run red KKD with him, but like you'd rather just not play him, you know. And again, like I said, this could be rapid rounds. So we're done talking about him. Let's talk about the top tiers by.
Okay, that was pretty
First
brief, but
film,
okay.
That is.
I guess
very
it's not
well known
that
in
long.
this game. The Mountain.
Right. I guess before this caveat, I guess I'll push back by saying, "Oh look, what tournament is that?" I'm trying to like squint at the name. That's oh wow, this is. I think this is like Combo Breaker 2023. Wow, this is an old footage. Um, but I do want to push back a bit on that because I feel like tiers have shifted a little bit. I don't think like this has started like not too crazy, but I think definitely more and more we've thought more of like Mountain as definitely still a good character, but maybe top tier is he'll probably fall off the top tier once people get really good at the game, right? It's hard to say because no one really plays a Mountain enough. I feel like nowadays to like really get enough Mountain experience, but who knows? So I think like some of the top tiers that they list here might be a little bit iffy, but definitely still like really good, really playable characters, right? So
Mountain is considered the king of cheese as he hits, well, like a
King of
mountain.
Cheese
This
is
guy is
apt.
kinda mid, stubby, slow, and very punishable.
Yes.
However, he has a claim to fame. Have you ever heard of a landslide?
Hey, 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 hey. Yeah.
If Mountain punished you or throwed you, he can link this special for as long as he had meter. Just
Yep.
look at the damage.
Okay,
Top tier
this
for
is
sure, but was dead.
this is kind of like hyperbolic because I think like they had like the low blue life on, so like they did like way more damage than it should, but it still does like a criminal amount of damage.
Linear in his game plan, relying heavily on a punish
Yeah,
or
oh yeah.
landing. A gimmicky top tier for sure.
Oh,
You
yes.
want to run red KKD, build meter, or green depending if you needed the defense.
Yeah.
If you come across a mountain player, shred it. It's time for the top
Oh,
tier.
learn good
Consistently
defense, right?
busted and easy to play. Akuma Shogun.
Oh, yeah.
Akuma Shogun is considered one of the strongest characters who hits hard. And this makes sense as he is a boss character and one of the big bads of the series.
Yeah.
You could totally see where Armakin got inspired by, either in a lot of the throws or his visual design. Look at him! He's one of the
I somehow never thought of that.
First thing you know, this game has varied health, and he had the highest. It takes 3 to 4 combos to kill him, and he took 2 to kill you. He is a bully at
Yeah.
the top tier. The
Pretty
running strike
apt.
is super safe and links it to good combos.
Oh, yeah.
It can also cause a ring bounce on block, because of course. And he also had a neutral skip where he turned it to diamonds and
Okay.
cut through you.
Come on, show that off.
Completely invincible
Yeah.
and safe
That
on
move is I think
and
still one of the
course,
dumbest moves in the whole game. It's actually
Combos
fun.
hit hard, dealing 50% fairly consistently.
Oh, yeah.
The air throw ender being a fantastic tool for getting that hard.
You need to practice them a little bit, but these I think Max has a point that is probably like the easiest, like Sam has a point. They're probably like the easiest top tier.
Godly. He wasn't lacking in any regard and just had very strong strength.
Like the most like consistent, like kind of like
Took execution. You look towards
low
this man,
thinking
your
character.
pick of Mishima, but there's another Mishima.
Let's go.
Terryman
Terryman, okay.
Rushdown grappler, having access to
I guess.
attacks and more strings.
You know,
than
if,
character.
if there's a character you can call a grappler in this game, like a top tier grappler in this game, it is Terryman, right? Because like Knuckle Part is basically like probably the single best throw in the game. That if you land that, like you're gaming really hard. So I guess if there's a character you can actually call a grappler ironically in this game, Terryman is a pretty good candidate for that. But yeah, it definitely has more execution. I think when they were saying high execution, I wanted to I felt like I wanted to Zebra because man, it's been. I think I'm slowly getting like gaslit by Sev that Terryman maybe isn't that hot because just seeing Terryman getting oppressed by like Zebra buttons because of his like extra a block stun making me go maybe Kata isn't that hot, but Terryman I think is still like really good. I think it's still easily like a top 10 character at worst.
Was made to open you up with a good old left-right combo. One
Yeah.
of the best command grabs he had was a throw that acted like Makoto's command grab, leaving the
Like
opponent
whose?
standing in a stun state. A godly throw for combos or resets. Now the execution part. Terryman was a combo god near the corner and out in the open. You have to get good at charge cancelling to do his combos.
That part isn't even like the
And
hard
this
part.
is something I've neglected to mention, as I felt like it's important for Terryman specifically. It's great for other characters, but Terryman is one of the main reasons why you need to learn this. If you do a
No,
special
there's a few other ones, I will
you do
say.
charges, which builds up your meter, but you can actually do the startup and instantly cancel it to lessen your recovery frames, allowing for fast links.
Yeah.
This is actually me doing this. I'm not gonna lie, my execution's pretty clean. I got like 3 of these in a row, and I genuinely popped off. I'm clean, guys. I am clean. Trust me.
It takes some getting used to, I
Had
think.
to get good at
It's
this to understand
it's always
the
hard
game.
because I feel like this is all the only game I play nowadays that I feel like, yeah, nothing is too hard. But I feel like it's hard to say that just because like this is like all I've practiced, you know. I feel like once you get used to this game, it's not difficult, but it can be like hard, like awkward to like get into a little bit.
Someone play as Terryman, you get excited because you know that they're pretty good at this game fundamentally.
Yeah.
Up next is the top tier that can grab you from anywhere, Ashura Man. The multi-arm
Okay.
top tier that ran this game.
Oh man, shout out! This was one of the fish shabs in a different country to the Olympics with like Aqua Fortis running it. Shout out to Aqua. Ashura Man isn't that good, right? Ashura Man isn't that. He'd probably still top 10. The Infinite is kind of swinging the pendulum back to me, being like, wait, Ashura Man might be like secretly kind of nice. Nicer than I remember, but I'm probably like overrating the Infinite quite a bit. He's good. He's good. I definitely. I won't call him top tier, but like he's still really solid. He's still really solid. Definitely has enough frustrating weaknesses for me to be like, I don't love him, but I mean he's nearly dear to my heart, right? Ashura Man.
Sure, man, was basic in premise, but it made him very unique. He was a
He's quite
level
unique.
2 grappler. The goal was to play outside the enemy's range as you had the better reach. His throws reached further, he had good reach for punishing and throw punishing, and the funny thing, he had a zoning tool that is infinitely better than any
Oh, yeah.
Planet Man had. Says the poke was solid. As a punish, giving a ton of damage in a combo, and Death Valley is a punishing throw.
Yeah.
Heart is at the 30% with an OTG follower. Yeah, the throws were good on this passive grappler as well. When it came to Ashura, he was strong due to always being in range of you. You couldn't escape the reach of the Ashura. The last top tier to talk about, Super Phoenix, aka
Fair enough.
the sauciest top tier in the game. There's no
Well,
Super
unfortunately, it is Zebra. That's a surprising mistake to make. I don't know if maybe. No, I think my stuff has finished like on the Zebra page by now, so maybe like just the glazing didn't come through nearly as well. Maybe they haven't seen some of like my newer tournaments. I'm not sure. Or maybe like my old agendas are still coming through. But yeah, Super Phoenix definitely still like pretty technical. But definitely the ceiling doesn't feel as high as Zebra, and definitely like the reward isn't as high as Zebra or even Shogun, right? He's still really cool. He's still really neat, and definitely like makes you go like boom about like what the game can do, right? When I told a friend of mine about the whole, you do the ruthless cancels to basically get like the string to combo, they kind of just had like a brain blast moment. So it's still like really cool that way, but definitely not necessarily top one anymore. Like you know the best, like a top tier. He's still top tier, but probably like not the best scatter. Like definitely like not the sauciest scatter anymore.
Super versatile. Had a tool for every situation and had a ton of strings for whatever you needed.
Yeah.
With a low skill floor, he also had a massive skill ceiling, making him
Yeah.
one of the more fun characters to learn.
For sure.
How to do a motherfucking infinite.
Yo, you wanna learn how to do a infinite? I'ma teach you, bitch ass.
That is not an infinite. I mean, that's a bit of a misnomer, you know. But you know what? It's a fun moment, I guess. He can do damage.
As most of his tools are launchers or good for juggling.
Yeah.
He was difficult due to not having normal charge cancels. Tapping it actually took longer for him, and I think this was coded as he was one of the boss characters, so it takes him 24 frames to do a charge. So he can't cancel like Terry, man. If he had that, it'd probably make him beyond busted, but he didn't
Nah.
have that. So he had
He
to
didn't.
get
He didn't need
with
it.
the ruthless, brutal technique. Silly name. You
Well,
do this molly hit an attack where you could
I
cancel
promise that sounds better in Japanese. I think in Japanese it's like, what is it? What is that move called in Japanese? Zangyaku brutal technique? No, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it sounds better in Japanese. Oh, but he does get into like the ruthless cancels. That's sick because like ruthless cancels are something else, aren't they?
silly name. You would do this molly hit an attack where you could cancel on the first hit if you wanted to, and you'd use this as a combo filler tool. Because if you did a string into this, you can link back to the original string to keep up the combo, kind of keeping up the infinite and the juggle state. This is very convoluted and hard to explain,
Yeah.
but to
Oh,
simply
yeah.
put it, string, tool, string, tool, string, tool.
Yeah.
That's
String tool string, not really back into
Really
tool.
getting
Normal,
into the
like not really back into
nitty-gritty of
ruthless.
tools.
Not
This
normally.
fella also had the Steve Swayback. The Sway had slight invul and it was hard to catch, so he was just super utility based. There wasn't anything he was lacking in. Also, he did have a horrible super where he would change the opponent's
It's a special move.
control.
That's funny.
Right, we're done with the top tier, so now we're going to talk about the characters.
I think it's funny how I think most of the ones that they mentioned about Super Phoenix kind of like also applies to Zebra. I don't know what that says about Zebra, but yeah.
What happens if you try and make Armor King a true Mishima?
Okay, that's a way to put it.
They asked the question, what if Armor King was a true Mishima? His jab came out in 10 frames, unlike every other character, and this dominated the round start.
Yeah, well, Jama has a 9 frame. That's why I kind of have the 10 framer.
The Electric Spring God Fist.
Yes! Yeah. Yes, finally. My agenda has like won over. I've wanted forever for people to start calling this the Electric Spring God because I just think like the name is too good. I'm glad this person at least agrees because I think no one else seems to agree, which makes me like a bit sad inside. You know, I think Electric Spring God is a good name. It's a good name. It's a good name. It's a good name.
And now I present to you the Electric Spring God Fist.
Yeah, that's a good way to highlight it. That was actually a really good. That was actually a really fun PNG edit of that scene. Actually, that was actually really well done.
+6 on block. Had a ton of pushback, a lot like an electric. But with charge cancelling, it became +12. And this was rare for Kinnikuman, as characters didn't have plus double-digit moves, meaning you couldn't really challenge them. He had a ton of pushback on block, and if Spring...
Well, you know, the pushback means that it's not that broken.
Super grab
yeah, you don't even need the bounce.
Immediately after.
You just do it, and just jails.
The scariest Mishima. However, like Kazuya, he's minus on a lot of attacks, and he was very committal.
Well, this is like the game, though, being minus it. And he's kind of stubby.
Pressure, and a lot of his tools, if he was wrong, could actually cost him. Lacked any hit confirms and was lacking in the damage department sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
Like Kazuya, and I thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of the coolest Mishimas of all.
Okay, that's a good edit. That's a good edit. That's a good edit.
Is someone I don't think is that unique compared to a lot of the other characters. Like, I think I wanted to cover Zebra Man, as I thought he was dead cool and probably the most technical character in the game.
Yes.
There's nobody
on
that level besides Terry Man. However, I wanted to talk about this Grappler, as I feel like he's inspired a ton of Grapplers within the current era. And in the Ultimate Muscle dub, he sort of talked like this.
That is true. They did give him a Shankan economy impression. Yeah, that's a good with Prelude. Robin Mass really isn't that interesting. So let's see what they have to say.
Was an easy fella to pick up. He was lacking in the damage department.
Nah, his damage is alright.
Make up for his either being constant strike throw or bullying the opponent near the ropes.
Yeah.
If he got a wall situation, he was great at bullying, and I mean, honestly, fantastic at it. He was stealing their lunch money.
They're not really showing off what makes him good. I feel like the fire breath is like a big part of what makes him good at rope pressure.
He had the set play projectile that was good for the wall and hurting peeps trying to escape you hastily.
There we go.
If he got a heavy stun, that low damage turned into a cash out as he could finally launch.
Yeah, unfortunately, because like he doesn't really have good ways to go into it.
Solid combo rounds. Also, this guy totally inspired Potemkin and Clark, either with his moves or his design.
I mean, Tower Bridge is literally,
were very committal, like this diving head.
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah, you do not do that in neutral. His neutral's good. Well, 2A sucks, but you know, he has 6A, jab, like those are good neutral moves. Fire breath even.
Like a Mega Fist or a Hammer Ball. He also had chain throws, which were awesome percent of
like,
okay, so that was dead cool.
Chain throws doesn't come up.
He was designed as a character to bully near the wall, either using the
I mean, that's just this game in general. Everyone is beyond a wall. Yeah, I don't. I feel like the Robin mask not the best representation. I understand it in some ways, which is weird because I feel like I'm slowly becoming more and more of a Robin op, but still.
Between the grapplers, and there's a ton of depth in the game. You think it's like an arena fighter type game, but it's genuinely not. There's so much depth here that you can explore and have fun with. I feel like any of these characters can lure you in with the gameplay, either being super interesting or having a ton of depth. It's honestly awesome seeing what you can pick up and play.
It's definitely like the match of the game.
Grappler, they tried to design that and it didn't work out well. Good. I had a ton of fun with this video. It was very different exploring an entire game like this. I think I will come back to it at some point.
Oh yeah, please do.
not the usual. And
You
if
know,
you
hit
guys
me up.
enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 5k subscribers to cover a fun version of Zangief. But be sure to say hi to Terrapin. Check out the membership system if you guys are feeling generous enough. And I don't know what I'm going to do next time, genuinely. I think I might do a tier list on Grappler Drip and the Grappler Fits, I'm thinking. And I don't know what I'm going to do for the Grappler Church. I genuinely have no idea, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
Oh, is this like a little segment they do, I guess? That was something that I missed it. That's cool. That was a really neat video. Definitely has really, like, definitely pretty well researched. Like, some things that I don't necessarily agree with, some things that I probably will push back against, but pretty good stuff. Really, really love seeing more people talk about the game, kind of sharing the word, because everyone has infinite more reach than I do. Um, but yeah, pretty good overall. They clearly did their research for the most part. Um, don't forget our lovely announcer Len Hart. Come on, definitely has a copy each other homework thing going on. Uh, that's the way to put it. Oh, look, there's Seb. Of course, Seb gets there. Cool to see the Kinnikuman mention. I actually was the one who made that by my Wikipedia the Holy Call list. I didn't mention the actual top one best cat in the game was Zebra, who pushed the top one somewhat recently, as a matter of fact. So Mountain's actually somewhat of a bit of decline in the tier checks, but if you're not top tier anymore, but that's my take. Nevertheless, a great video, and I appreciate the word being spread. And when I cover Zebra Man, probably in the future. Poor guy pulled in by Bumbles McFumbles. That's King Fossil Man. Just, the scene just comes out in droves, whenever they see MGP2, like, very much MGP2 mentioned Bjin, which I think is always always funny. Yep, one day, hopefully, we will have to roll back. So yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. Um, but yeah, glad to see it. I'm glad to that was a fun one to watch. Hopefully, this reaction added like some insights. As always, shout outs to Patriarch Panda on that. Link of the video will always be on the description, so give that a look. And again, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.